Alright guys, it's December 16th. Most of the league can be traded. Kuminga and Herb cannot. We're waiting until January for them. Also, there's a sponsor. I think I want to start with the Warriors and this Trey Murphy III stuff. Last two games, Steph goes crazy. They still lose. Yeah, he missed the layup versus the Blazers, but he was amazing. 6th in defense, 20th in offense. And I'll admit, it doesn't always feel like they're 6th in defense, but I can't argue with the number. I feel like there's a conundrum here, which is, I feel like the Warriors are more than just a Trey Murphy III away from having a real shot against the top teams in the West in the playoffs, and also just securing a top 6 seed. However, I think the only way you could really get Trey Murphy is if you threw in a crazy amount of picks. Because if I'm the Pelicans, look, Trey Murphy's 25 years old. He's on a fine contract, I would say, that doesn't hit $30 million until like many years from now. And I think he's at this sweet spot of an age and a contract to where he can be here for the Derek Queen, Jeremiah Fears ride, but also if somebody comes out of nowhere with a crazy offer, I can say yes. And I just think this Warriors team needs more than Trey Murphy, but also if you have to give up nearly all of your tradable stuff to get him, then is that really doing it for you? And yeah, Kuminga's in there for salary purposes. I don't think the Pelicans really care about Kuminga. Which again means if this was going to happen, we're waiting until at least mid-January. They could still take the swing and just say, we need one more guy who can get real buckets, which Trey Murphy can definitely do, and that can be enough with how well Steph is playing. I still think they need either another big. Now, Quentin Post's rim protection numbers that I talked about a little bit earlier in the season, they've held up. Like Quentin Post, even though he got scored on by Gobert like 7 times in that Wolves game, he has been better defensively this season. But with the year that Horford is having, which it breaks my heart, but this was going to happen eventually, I feel like they could use another big, but I also think they need probably more than one wing as well. Like, they just got to get bigger. I've said this before. I'm sure they'd love to trade for Wiggins. Would Miami move Wiggins? I don't know. They've lost 5 in a row. The fans, and by all accounts, the front office love him. He's on an awkward contract situation because it's a short one with a player option. I think you'd have to go over the top rope with picks if you're the Warriors. Who knows? Again, Kuminga would be the salary. I don't know. Warriors fans might just be yelling about like Pods and Buddy Hield all season. Before we get back to it, this video is sponsored by SeatGeek. You know, with how cold it is in the Northeast right now, kind of thinking about taking a trip to, I don't know, somewhere warm. And while doing that, I could see an NBA game, maybe a Spurs game, a Laker game, a Warriors game, somewhere warm and some basketball to watch. And if I wanted to go to anything like that, or any sporting event or concert or festival or many things, and I would use SeatGeek as I have in the past, and it's always been a good time. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are over 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, and SeatGeek rates deals on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. Just look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. Every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee, and you can use my code FunkyDiabetic10 for 10% off your next order at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code FunkyDiabetic10. Make sure to click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account. We will keep it to the Pelicans, but we're going to go to the Lakers now because there's been the Herb Jones stuff with them. Again, Herb cannot be dealt until mid-January. If you want a Herb Jones update, I watched all of his defensive minutes against the Bulls they just had. All of his rotations were really good. Guys scored on him a couple times, but he was also covering for other guys' mistakes. Also had an amazing rotation on Vooch rolling to the basket. Anyway. We all know the Lakers need defense, athleticism, and depth. And also, hopefully, guys who the defense cares about on the other end. Herb has not been as good as he was 2 years ago when he was maybe the best role player in the NBA. Also, he's missed a lot of games. Look, similar to the Warriors, if the Lakers want to go crazy with draft picks, they can probably get Herb Jones. It's just, besides the fact of they can't move all of their future picks, and also every contender or hopeful contender in the league is wondering, how can we get Herb Jones? He's under contract for 5 years. His deal doesn't touch $20 million until 2028, and at the end, it's $24 million. So if he is really going to get dealt, I just don't know if the Lakers can compete with somebody else who might just really want Herb Jones. But to state the obvious, yeah, anybody looking for a defensive player, Herb, I mean, we all know what he was as a perimeter player, being not just the best defender, but at times one of the only good ones on a team that was a top 10 defense 2 years in a row. But yeah, when you picture the like fully realized version of this Laker team, around Luka and Reeves for the distant future. Apologies to LeBron, but we know how old he is. Yeah, you just picture like athleticism, defense, toughness, rim protection, and then hopefully enough shooting out of the 3, 4, and 5 spots. It also just way more depth than they've got right now. And before this jump that Austin made, I would say I was maybe like 60-40 on he's going to be here for the long haul. Now I think it's a pretty safe bet. He's going to be here for the long haul. But what do I know? I'm just some guy. What are they, 18-7 after what the hell just happened to win against the Suns? they need some changes, but things are going well. All right, next up, this Kobe White T-Wolves stuff. I will say that John Krasinski, who is the go-to for everything on the Wolves, his follow-up to this report said that while it could happen, he's not saying it won't, it may not be as imminent as the initial reporting was, because the first reporting of this made it sound like the Wolves are going to trade for Kobe White like today. So I don't know, but look, for the Bulls, I mean, they didn't agree to an extension with Kobe White, so if the writing is not on the wall, it's on the floor, I guess. What the hell does that mean? Look, the Wolves don't have a whole lot to deal. In fact, I'm not even sure if they can move a future pick, because pretty much everything is locked up in protections, or they don't have besides the 2028 pick, but that one is surrounded, and Stepien rule, I don't know. And so then it would become more of like a Dante's contract, and he's under contract for 1 more year than Kobe White, and for less money than what a Kobe White extension would be, so that's some reason to think about it if you're Chicago. And then I wonder if the Bulls would ask for one of the young guys that the Wolves are hoping can be like real rotation guys for them, like Baron J, who's their young center, possibly Shannon or Clark, but those guys are farther along, possibly Bones Highland, where, I mean, if you're the biggest Bones Highland fan, you might be saying, hey, we don't need Kobe White, Bones Highland just had 18 on good efficiency, whatever. Would Kobe White be the perfect guy for the Wolves? Probably not. Like, they'd have to cover for him defensively, and he's not like a traditional organize the offense type of Mike Conley type of point guard like he was for them when they got him, and he's still here, of course, but the defense would definitely have to worry about him. He can make jumpers off the dribble. He gives them just another ball handler in the middle of Ant's best scoring season. I mean, the guy had a stretch there. It was just like, he was unbelievable. Like, he got even better from 3 this season. His 2s are better. Everything's better. And I'm just not really sure that the perfect, like, floor organizing point guard who can shoot and is also awesome on defense is going to be available to the Wolves, given what they can actually deal. And so if it's going to be Kobe White, he certainly still helps you. Take some ball handling pressure off of Ant, be a real threat off the ball that defenses can't play off of. He's shooting 27% from 3 this season. I'm going to choose to not be worried about that. I don't know if there was any other rumors that I really cared about. I mean, there was like some Raptors, Anthony Davis stuff. You know what? Sure, why not? Giannis is, I don't know. Someone's going to trade for Keon Ellis.